welcome to episode 18 of the Just One End podcast. My name is Liz, also known as Elizabeth Zimmerman. I'm coming to you from Cochranville, Pennsylvania, where I live with my husband Greg, our two children Eric and Tilda, and our dog Millie. You can find me on Ravelry as Algebrina. There's a Ravelry group for the podcast called the Just One End Podcast Group, or Just One End Podcast. Just One End Podcast, I think. I'll link it below. And then I have a new Instagram account. I was previously Algebrina, and technically that account is still active. I mean, it's still there, and it's what houses most of my knitting content. But I started a new account called Just One End Podcast, which functions correctly. My Algebrina account, for some reason, the stories just never worked right. It started with the poll sticker. The poll sticker was like released to everyone last fall or something, and it never showed up in my account. And then there were a bunch of other things that, like, I got some things, but not everything. And then I went to use it a couple weeks ago, and the buttons didn't even function. It looks like they actually fixed that. But yeah, it's been really irritating, and there's apparently no such thing as Instagram support, because you report something and you never hear back and you can't troubleshoot anything. So I gave up. So the account's still there. You can still follow it. I just won't be posting anything new on there. But you can follow my Just One End podcast account on Instagram. So let's see, that's outside of my normal spiel, so I have to figure out where I am. So today is Saturday, oh my goodness, March 10th, I believe. Oh my gosh, I'm so out of it today. Yes, today is Saturday, March 10th. So first of all, I have not recorded an episode in a long time. I meant to almost every weekend. I was like, all right, I'm going to record a podcast episode. But then the last couple of weekends, especially, I've been sick, so nobody wants to document this face in snot. And I got vertigo as part of being sick, and so I was dizzy for like a week and a half, and I'm still a little bit dizzy depending on whether it gets triggered or not. So yeah, it was just unpleasant the last couple of weeks. So I am finally sitting down, recording a podcast episode. There's a lot that I've done. Obviously, it's been a long time let's see, last time I recorded was, I think it was like February 8th or something like that. I was just about to leave for the Flying Fibers retreat. So I did go to that. I left the next day. I had a nice relaxing day off before I headed over. And I love this retreat because it is just hang out and knit. Like, it's just a relaxing weekend of chatting and show and tell and just working on projects and eating. There's always a lot of eating, but it's just so nice to just hang out. That's my favorite kind of getaway. So it was a ton of fun. While I was there, Jamie of I'll Knit If I Want To podcast and Beautiful Mess Yarn Works yarn dyeing company. She was there. Again, that's where we actually met last year. That's where we became friends. So she was there, and she decided to record a live podcast episode for her podcast. So she hopped on YouTube Live. She had her mom there, chatting with her for a bit, and then I hopped on and chatted with her, showed what I was working on at the retreat, and then the girls from the Notorious podcast also hopped on, and just did a little chit chat with her. So that was a lot of fun. Go over to her channel and you can check that out. So it's the I'll Knit If I Want To podcast. Yeah, so I did that while we were there. Nothing else really eventful happened at the retreat. I didn't get as much work done as I had planned to. I actually brought 8 projects with me. Some of them were not technically projects. They were like set up for a new cast on if I had time. So I didn't actually end up casting anything on. Typically when I go to this retreat, I finish something. So I, have the opportunity to cast on if I want to. I didn't in this case. I worked on a few things, and I ended up thinking back a lot because one of the things I brought out was my double knit scarf, which I'll show you some progress on. But I just kept making mistakes on it, so I'd rip back. Also, apparently my gauge changed, so I knit for a while and was like, this is really loose and gapey. So I ripped that back and went down needle sizes. I did work on some of my sweater surgery that I would talked about, I think the last episode, for my Zadie sweater. So I did some of that. It's not done yet, but I've made some progress on some of that. So I worked on that while I was there. And then a lot of my time I actually spent stitching, which was really nice. So I got to get my January section of the Clouds Factory stitch along that I'm working on. I got January done. So it's all I've done. I still haven't moved on to February yet. And now we're into March. But, you know, it's progress. And I'll show you that in a sec. Yeah, so I did work on about half the projects I brought. Didn't finish anything, but, you know, it's still great to just hang out and socialize and you know, get some work done. So yeah, so I did the Flying Fibers retreat. Soon after that, I think the next weekend, Eric and I did one of his stickers, which I think I talked about before. For Christmas, we gave him some stickers that he could put on the calendar throughout the year of activities to do, like bowling, go stay in a hotel with a pool, Legoland in Philadelphia, Sesame Place, things like that. So he was able to choose one of his, because he has multiple, Strasburg Railroad stickers. He loves going to the Strasburg Railroad, riding on the train. So he and I went. We decided just the two of us to go instead of the whole family. So we went, we rode on the train. We went to the Thomas train store that they have there, and picked up a Trackmaster train. So a Thomas train that goes on its own, which is fun. And then we went to a cafe in Strasburg called the Speckled Hen, which was really good. It had really good food. It had I got a really nice mocha latte, but it was beautiful because it was foamy and they like made a design in it. Yeah, it was really nice and it was delicious too. So anyway, so that was a lot of fun. And then we went to Hodgepodge, which is an antiques and cross-stitch store in Strasburg, which we just stopped in for the first time. I'd never been before, but I needed some new needles for my cross-stitch, so I just stopped in and picked that up. But it's a really cute little store. They've got some very nice threads for cross stitch, and I don't know, just a lot of stuff. It's a pretty cool place to stop in. So if you ever go to Strasburg, it's right near the ice cream shop, which is also a big tourist attraction in Strasburg. And then we hopped over, since we were practically halfway there anyway, we hopped over to Flying Fibers, because I was going to work on a test knit that was designed with their yarn, and I needed to pick up the yarn. So you'll see all of that in a minute, but so we did that all in that weekend. So it was a really nice, fun day out with Eric, and yeah, we had a good time. Soon after that, I think that was President's Day weekend where we did that, and then on President's Day, I was off work. Daycare was not closed, so the kids went in. Greg was working, so I took my nephew out to go see a movie. So I think I've talked about this before. I can't remember. But every year for Christmas, ever since I moved back home back in 2008. Actually, no, I think a couple of years before that. I think when I would come home for Christmas, I would do this. But I give my nephews and niece, only one's old enough to go, the gift of an afternoon out to go see a movie and get a meal, like a lunch or dinner, depending on, what time the movie is. And so we've done that every year as a gift for a long time now. It predates Greg. Greg is now in the mix, but so they can choose either me or Greg. We'll take them out for the afternoon. So Christian, who is my oldest nephew, he's 16. He and I went to go see Black Panther for his Christmas gift this year. So we saw that. It was really, really good. I know it's been out for a couple of weeks now, so people have probably already seen it. But if you haven't, it's a really good movie, so you should definitely see it. Greg hasn't seen it yet, so I'm going to see if I can figure out how we can go see it together, because I'd like to see it again. It was really good, but we'll see. And then I think it was the following weekend, I went up to New Jersey. I just took a road trip, hopped in the car, and went to Frame and Fiber, which is the framing and fabric and yarn store of Paige the Framer. Who is Paige? She is, if you haven't seen her, she has her own podcast. What's she calling it? I think she's calling it The One with Paige, which I think is a really fun name. I've talked about it before. I really like her podcast. It's got a unique structure. That's the word I was looking for. So I like the way that she has it set up. And then her latest episode, she did the fiber partner tag. So she and her husband are answering the questions that Chevy Rell did for fiber partner tag. So you're talking to your non-fibery partner about your fibery life. So it's really cute. Gosh, her husband, they are adorable together. They're so much fun. But anyway, so I went up to New Jersey. She happened to be having her, I think it's annual sale that weekend. So she has knit night or knit afternoon every, I think it's fourth Sunday of the month anyway. And then because the sale fell on it, she had longer hours for it. So it worked out really well that I happened to, plan on coming up that weekend. So I think I got there around 1 o'clock or so. And then we were just knitting. It was a bunch of people. There were a ton of people just sitting around the table in her shop, chatting and snacking, and just, it was a lot of fun. So I love doing, knit nights where you can hang out. I don't have that many opportunities to do it anymore since there's just not any shops near me or any gatherings. Apparently there might be one at a library that I might check out, but anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So so we hung out and knit, and then afterwards Paige and I went and we grabbed something to eat together and just chatted and had a really good time. So so I loved going up to visit her. I am planning to do it again at some point. I don't think I can do it every month, but but I'll try and get up again soon because it was just a blast. And then I was sick for a couple weeks, so I didn't do much. But then last weekend was the mud sale in Bart, Pennsylvania. So my in-laws live right across the street from where this is held. It's at the fire hall, I guess it's the Bart fire station. And then the field, there's like a field behind it. So a mud sale, if you've never been to one, it's kind of like an outdoor flea market. It's a hodgepodge of just stuff for sale. There's like Amish built sheds and buggies for Amish families and toys and snacks and like cheese and meat and and furniture. It's just like, it's an odd assortment of things that you can buy. But we go for the food. Like I said, my in-laws live right across the street, so it's easy to get to. We don't have to do the whole figure out where to park and possibly catch the bus that they have running as a shuttle. Like, it's very crowded, and it's almost like a fair atmosphere. But it's really easy for us because we get to park at their house. We walk over. They actually hang out with the kids while my husband and I go over, so it works out really well for us to go. So but while you're there, the food that you want to look for, Amish handmade pretzels, so good. They're like dripping in butter and they're like soft and chewy, but they have like a crispy bottom. Oh, they are so good. And then they do handmade milkshakes, which you would think in 30 to 40 degree weather you wouldn't want, but they're really good, so you do anyway. They do French fries. They do homemade donuts. They do chicken barbecue, which I don't know if people have heard of this. Like, chicken barbecue is like a noun. It's when you take chicken quarters and you basically mass barbecue them. It's usually done on like a giant grill. And then people do it like every weekend in Pennsylvania for like fundraisers. Like, somebody's always having a chicken barbecue. So this is a thing in Pennsylvania. I don't know if it's a thing anywhere else. It's not a thing in Maryland. At least it is a little bit on like the border of Maryland and Pennsylvania, but it doesn't bleed over much because I hadn't heard of it before moving up here, and it's like it's everywhere. It's really good. I mean, it's like barbecued chicken. It's like smoked and yeah, delicious. But anyway, so they just have some really good food. So if you're ever in the Lancaster County area, the first weekend in March, you should definitely check it out, especially if you want to like get some exposure to the Amish community. It is like 80% Amish people there. It's just a sea of black hats or yeah, black hats, straw hats. Anyway, it's a sea of Amish people. So it's just a really fun time. And very interesting for sure. Yeah, so first Saturday of March. They also do it on the third Saturday in March, but we don't know if they have the same food offerings. And since that's what we go for, we've never gone on the third Saturday. I think they switch from selling the hodgepodge of things to selling lumber on that third Saturday. So it's like building materials and things like that. So anyway, more information than you probably need, but mud sale, lots of fun, really good food. And then lastly, earlier this week, I met up with a knitty friend of mine, Vicky. She and I decided to just get together and hang out and knit. So we met at the Victory Brewing Company, which is a brewery restaurant that is in Parksburg, Pennsylvania, which is actually where my kids go to daycare. So not at the brewery. They they go to daycare in Parksburg. So it's a place that I've passed within hundreds of feet of and didn't know existed. I knew it existed because I knew there were like signs that said Victory Brewing Company this way, but I've never gone to it, and I've never laid eyes on it. And it's this really like big building. You've got the giant brewing vats on one side of the building, and then the restaurants in this big open space that's like 2 stories open high, and it's a really cool place. And they had really good food. I really enjoyed what I got. So that was a lot of fun. And so I decided after I got home from that, I started a meetup. So I went to meetup.com and I started one for our general area, because just because I don't have a knit group doesn't mean I can't start one. So even if it's just me and Vicky, or even just me sometimes, it's at least something that's being established. So I set up the meetup. I'll put a link down below, but it's, I think I called it the Octorara Area Knit Night. Octorara is the school district that I live in. So it kind of covers part of my county and the next county over, just kind of giving a general idea of where we're located so that people could, decide if they were close enough to also be interested. So for now, I've set it up for the first Tuesday of every month to just meet somewhere and hang out. Right now, we're going to stick with the Victory Brewing Company, but maybe check out other restaurants or pubs or things. So if you are local, then feel free to check out the meetup, join up. We'll do the next one the first Tuesday in April, which I think is April 3rd. I think it's like 2 days after Easter. So anyway, so if you're interested, for sure check that out, because it would be a lot of fun to grow a community of in-person knitters. As much fun as I have with virtual knit nights, because they are also a lot of fun, and I've done a couple more recently. It's also nice to hang out with people in person. And it's an excuse to, go and hang out and grab something to eat and something to drink and just be social. So anyway, so that Yes. That is everything that I've been up to lately. So now that that's like the first half hour of the show, let's get into some knitting content, shall we? Nope, totally forgot. I didn't address any of the elephants in the room. So let's address that. First of all, I got my hair cut. You may notice it's a bit shorter than usual. So I decided that I wanted a change. I think I talked about it last time that I was interested in doing it. And yeah, I did it. So I did. I cut off all of my hair. It's longer on top and it is shaved on the sides. I actually just re-trimmed it myself. I had my husband help me because I can't reach most of it. But took clippers to it again because it does grow out fast when it's this short. But yeah, so it's a lot of fun. I don't know if you can tell in this light, but there's like teal and purple in it. It has faded a little bit already, but fading's just part of it. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I really like that I did it. It's just, I don't know. It was exhilarating getting your hair cut. First of all, because I'd never had clippers taken to my hair before, so that was a new experience. And then it's really easy. Like, even when I wake up and it's kind of crazy, I can just tame it down really quick. And it's fun. I've always been I'll do my hair in a really easy way kind of person. Like, even when it's long, it's 99% of the time it's up in a ponytail. Because it's just easy, but this is more fun. Like a ponytail is, boring. But but this, it's just, I don't know. I really like it. So there's that. Also, the big circle chair that I used to sit in for the last couple of episodes, that was on loan from my parents. Since they were here at New Year's, they brought it up with them so that I could borrow it for the knitting retreat in early February. And when that was over, I returned it because it is theirs. So, so I don't have my big comfy knitting chair anymore. Instead, I have stolen the rocking chair that has lived in my daughter's room since we moved in a year ago. She doesn't actually use that room. She and Eric decided they wanted to share a room, so she actually sleeps under his lofted bed. And her room just houses her clothes. So, so she has the biggest closet in the house because her whole room is her closet. But the chair wasn't getting used. I wanted a comfy spot to hang out and record in and sit in when I'm doing like virtual knit nights and things like that. So I have brought it down. Well, my husband brought it down, but I have it down here in my low craft room now. I have locked it so that I don't sit here and just like rock the whole time. I'd probably end up banging into the shelves behind me anyway. So yeah, so there is my comfy chair. And then also, I thought I would share, I am wearing my Exploration Station shawl, which I finished earlier, sometime last year, I think early summer. So this is, there we go, the Exploration Station by Stephen West. This yarn I picked up at Maryland Sheep and Wool last year. And yes, I am planning to go to Maryland Sheep and Wool this year because it's pretty close and really there's no reason not to. So so I picked it up at Maryland Sheep and Wool. The dark purple I got from Neighborhood Fiber Company. The bright green and the variegated green here I got from, I think her name is Beach Painting Gal. I'll look for her again this year to figure out if there's more information I can get on her because I haven't been able to find her anywhere. And then the purple and white variegated, that is, it's called Purple Lollipop, and that's from Tempting You Yarns. So, and then also the brioche section has some mohair that I picked up from Flying Fibers at a later date. So not at Maryland Sheep and Wool, but I think that hardly counts. So other than that, it's an entirely Maryland Sheep and Wool purchased shawl. So yeah, so I'm wearing that. I thought I would, share it because I haven't really shown it in a while. So that's what I have on. Okay. Knitting things. First of all, let me talk about the knit along that I have going on right now. I am co-hosting a Knit Your Blank and Sock Blank Cal with Sal and Al of the Woolslayers. So Sally and Alan of the Woolslayers podcast. We are hosting it together. So it is knit from a sock blank. That's basically it. Knit whatever you want. Do socks, do mitts, do a scarf, whatever you'd like to do. Just do it from a sock blank. So I have a chatter and finished objects thread in my Ravelry group. They have a chatter and finished objects thread in their Ravelry group, and we are both pulling prizes from our FO threads. So I've shown before my prize, speaking of Tempting You yarns, my prize is this skein of yarn from Tempting You. It is called You So Sparkly Sock. Just kidding, that's the base. It's called Starfish. It's called Starfish on You So Sparkly Sock, which is 7525 merino nylon sparkle. And then it's got a little stitch marker that I've included here. And sorry, that's probably out of focus because my camera's out of reach and I don't feel like touching it. So otherwise, that's how I'd get it focused. But it's just a little star. It's very cute. But I also have a recent donation that I wanted to throw in along with this for the price. So I received from needlegoods.com this great pair of, let me put it back around it so you can see, this great pair of scissors. So this is a fleur-de-lis pair of scissors, and it comes with a Paris scissor fob. So it's got these really pretty pink and black and silver beads on it with a little Eiffel Tower. So I'm adding that into my price. So these are the prize for the Knit Your Blanket Sock Blank Cal in my thread. And then hop over to the Woolslayers to find out what they have on theirs. I think they're doing a bag. I think they're giving away a bag and scissors also. So anyway, with the Knit Your Blank and Sock Blank Cal though, all the rules are in Ravelry, but just a quick reminder, it goes through March 30th. So you've got till the end of this month. And then if you share on Instagram or anything, use the blanking sock blank cal or blankin sock blank cal hashtag. We kind of went back and forth between the two. So either one, use that, and then we'll be able to, see your posts and see that you're participating. But I will share my half finished object for that knit along. So this is my Quist mitt that I am knitting out of a sock blank from Sweet Sparrow Yarns. So it's a really pretty color. It's like a violet, purple blue color. It's really pretty. And then the pattern is by Melanie Berg. So I picked this pattern in order to participate with the Melanie Berg knit along that Vanessa from A Historian Knits is hosting. Hers ends mid-month, and I don't think that I'm going to make it because I only have one done, and I haven't actually cast on the second one, and I have other things that are pulling my focus right now. So, oops, but but that's fine. I mean, I often participate in knit-alongs and don't finish. But what I did for this one, I decided that I wanted to have more coverage on my hand. I have some fingerless mitts, and I just don't like how exposed your fingers are, because when it's really cold, they don't really do the job of keeping your hands warm. But I like how functional they are so that your fingers are free. So what I decided to do, and I think I've talked about this, I think I talked about this as my plan, but now I actually executed it. So what I did is I extended it up to pretty much the end of my fingers. I think that when I block it, it may stretch a bit more and may go further up. But, oh, and my nails are dirty. Sorry. Go this way. So what I originally did was I took the textured pattern of the mitt and I extended it by like 3 or 4 repeats. And then I did the ribbing just the normal length. But I didn't like how that looked, mostly because I realized that I wanted to be able to roll it down. And that way I basically had the wrong side showing, which, you know, didn't look all that nice because it's the wrong side of the pattern. So instead I ripped it out and I went with just a really long ribbing section instead. So you can see that's what it looks like when it's rolled down. So if it's, you know, being used for really keeping my hands free, then it still looks nice because it's just ribbing. But then when I'm cold and it gets windy and I want my hands warmer, I can roll it up and then I've got my hands covered. So I have one done. I will cast on the second one and I will have it done. Hopefully by the time our knit along is over. But that's my half finished object that I have to share. You would think that with as long as it's been since I podcasted last, I would have at least one finished object, but that is not the case. I have a half finished object. And then I have kind of a cheater finished object. Yes, this project is one that you've seen before. It is the flax light sweater that I knit for Tilda. But what I decided to do was to rip out the hem and add a little bit more length because she would wear it and her belly would hang out because it was too short. So I decided to, make it a little bit longer. So the problem with doing that though is that this sweater has been worn and washed and dried and it is super wash, but it has fuzzed a bit. You know, not much, but you know, it's definitely a sweater that's been around for a little bit. So ripping out the hem was a giant pain in the butt because the yarn was like stuck to itself. Not that it had really felted, but yeah, it got a little fuzzy. So ripping it out was really irritating. And then the new yarn that's knit on, you know, it's not worn. It's not as fuzzy. So you can definitely see the line where I added the length. So we'll see when it's been blocked out and, you know, washed a couple of times so that maybe this will catch up with this in how it's worn. But we'll see. But it is done. So I've been carrying this around in my purse for a couple weeks intending to do it. And then I finally got around to doing it. So that is done. I did decide to do a split hem. I like the look of a split hem. And it actually helps me differentiate between back and front for the flax light because there is no back and front. And it's not like it matters, but now there is a back and front. So, so that's done. I also, let's see, I have some progress to show on some of the things I worked on the retreat. One is my stitching. So this is the Clouds Factory Stitch Along for 2018. I believe it's called Legendary Creatures Alphabet. I think that's what the knit along or stitch along is for this year. So I have January done. So L for Leprechaun and M for Medusa. I found that I mislabeled one of my threads, so I ripped back a couple of the colors last week, I think, and restitched those because I was off. So so I did finish it and then kind of unfinished it and then refinished it again. So that's done. And then February is N for Nessie. And then I goes above M for, I believe it's Ifrit, which I don't know anything about, but, sorry, I don't know anything about, but the pattern always includes a little blurb about each figure that you're stitching. So I'll learn about it. And then I have no idea what March is. I don't think I've actually looked at the pattern yet, so I don't know what they are. But I'm hoping that once I finish with the test knit that's taking up all of my time right now, I'll be able to focus on stitching it a little bit more and get caught up. Because I would really like to stay caught up at some point this year. Just so I'm not knitting or stitching half of it in like the last 2 months of the year, like I was this time. So that's my stitching progress and what I worked on a lot at the retreat. And then like I said, I started some of my sweater surgery for my Zadie sweater. So this is my Zadie sweater, which I've shown before. It was the knit along for Off Our Needles last summer. They had a summer knit along during their season 2, I think. I think they're in season 3 right now for Off Our Needles. And it's really nice. It's got this little cable detail in the raglan part. I don't know what you'd call that. Raglan seam? Anyway, cable detail there. But it's too big. So I did take out a couple of inches in the back. I steeked it and then seamed it up. So that part is done. It's got a little bit of bulk, but it's not too bad. You know, it's just down the back. It doesn't really matter. And then I also steeked the sleeves and took out a couple of inches and then re-seamed them. The way I seamed it, I decided to go along the crochet edge of the steek, just to leave not as much bulk in the sleeve. I don't know if I like that decision. It's made it have this interesting, kind of like a little design in there, because you can see the crochet knots instead of just knit stitches, which is kind of cool. But I don't know if it's going to lay right. So I'm going to block it and see if I like it. If I don't, then I will just do a mattress stitch over top of that. It's going to leave more bulk inside the sleeves, but you know, it's not too bad. So hopefully you can see this. It looks a little bit dark in my screen, but we'll see how it is when I'm editing it. Yeah, so the sleeves are done for now, unless I decide to change it. The back is done. So really all I'm going to do at this point is rip out the neckline and re-knit the neckline. So it was 3 rows of garter. I'm going to rip that out. First of all, you know, re-knit it so that it's, you know, in the round over this new seams that I made. And I'm going to extend it by at least double, probably a bit more, because it was very boat necky and I didn't particularly like the look. So I really just have the neckline to finish and to reblock it, and we'll see how that goes. But I am glad that I picked it up and I actually did the sweater surgery I talked about doing. So I have been working on it. All right, and that, whoop, one more before I get into my test knit. I also have been doing some work on the cubic scarf. So this is the double knit scarf that I'm working on for my husband. When you saw it last, it was about here. So that was the length. And I have now at least doubled that. So this is the new progress. So it is not quite able to get the whole thing on screen. I think that's the whole thing. So like I said, I was working on this at the retreat. I started knitting on it again and the gauge looked off. So I went down a needle size. It still looked off. So I went down another needle size, and I think I didn't need to. I think I went down a little bit too much. So it is a bit tighter now than it was when I started, but it's so slight that it really, you can't tell. And Greg's not going to care. So it's, yeah, it is what it is. But I still really like it. It's still a lot of fun. You do really make pretty good progress. I mean, it's worsted weight. It grows pretty well. So I really just need to bang it out and get it done. I have this much of each color to put into the scarf. I'm just going to knit until it's gone. So it will be the length that it'll be. I'm probably a little bit less than 2/3 done. So I've got at least this much length to finish. Maybe a little bit more. Actually, I should. Oh, I can't tell where I joined the new yarn because I spit spliced it. That's what I love about wool, that you can spit splice it, and I have no idea where the new balls were joined. So anyway, so there is progress being made on it, but it's not done yet. And unfortunately, we're getting into spring. So despite the freak snowstorm that we got this week, that's probably winter's last hurrah. So he will be wearing that next season. Sorry, honey. Okay, last work in progress that I'm going to share, and I am really excited about this one. I can't share in too much detail because it is a test knit, but I'm also not done that much, so I can share what I have because it's not really spoiling anything. So I am working on a test knit for Rachel Brockman. She worked with Flying Fibers to do a collaboration using their yarn. She designed this sweater. So this one is a pullover. It's called the Gretna Jumper. And it is knit in pieces and seamed together, which, having done a couple of sweaters in the round now, I'm looking forward to a sweater that's constructed that way because common wisdom is that a seamed sweater fits better and is more structurally sound. Like it won't stretch weird and do odd things. Nothing against sweaters in the round, but I might cut all of that out. Maybe I'll start a controversy with that. Anyway, I think it'll fit nicely. So this is the back piece, which I just finished. Like I just now bound it off before I started recording. So it is, there we go. There we go. So this is the first thing I've gotten done. So I don't have much more to show beyond that. I'm about to start working on the sleeves, which have a lovely cable detail as well as the texture. And then look at this texture. Just, it's gorgeous. I am really looking forward to this sweater. This yarn is like it's like a DK weight, and it's just really nice. It's very woolly. It's the Yorkshire Medley, like I said. I hope I said. And it's what I knit my Staith shawl out of. And it's really warm and it's just, it's really nice yarn. So, and I love the color. It's green and it's got a tonal quality to it because it's hand dyed and it's just, it's beautiful. So that is the part that I have done. But I am going to show you my swatch. So this is the swatch that I knit for it. And hopefully it'll catch the light enough that you can see. It has some really gorgeous cable details. So, so this is going to be the cable that's going up the front. And it is really pretty. So, and it was a lot of fun to knit too. I enjoy doing cables. I don't do them all that often. But yeah, it's going to be really pretty. So that is what I'm working on right now. That pattern is coming out, I believe, toward the end of March. So I'll put up my project page with the rest of the test knitters, and I probably won't be done with the sweater, honestly. With being sick and all of that, I just didn't make as much progress to this point as I would have hoped. You know, I only being done the back, I still have 2 sleeves and a front to go and constructing it. So we'll see if I actually get done. But I am really excited to have the end product. So that is what I am spending the majority of my time on right now. And I'm starting the sleeves as soon as I finish recording. Okay. So that is all of the projects that I'm working on. Let me share a little bit about acquisitions. And then we'll just wrap up. So, I'll grab whatever's closest to me. This is the Frame and Fiber tote bag. Paige gave me this when I was shopping at her shop. In here I have a white fur pom-pom, faux fur, I think. So I grabbed that. I've got some chunky alpaca, some from Cascades Yarn, which is a nice green color. You can tell I have a favorite color. I also, let's see, I picked up some other Cascade yarns. Like I said, it was her sale, so I picked up some things that were on sale. Heritage Silk Paints, which is 85% superwash wool, 15% mulberry silk from Cascade Yarns. And I think this will be a really fun stripy sock. And then I also picked up, and this is what I'm really excited about, a new project bag. So this is from Daisy Lane Designs, which is, I believe her name is Allison. So she works with Paige, and Paige carries her bags in her shop. She also has her own Etsy shop, Daisy Lane Designs, I believe. I think. I'll find the link and I'll put it down. But this is a really fun project bag. It's got a denim bottom, so like you've got, you know, seams from jeans on it. And it's just a really nice bag. And the inside is a lot of fun too. So I'm excited that I was able to pick that up. Oh, there we go. There's the thing. Allison Williams, Daisy Lane Designs. I'll put the information down below too. Yeah, she has an Etsy shop. And she mostly does cash wallet systems, like, you know, for budgeting, where you keep cash for certain things in individual wallets and spend that. Anyway, so I got a new project bag, and I really like it. It's very pretty. So that's what I picked up in New Jersey. I also, of course, have my sweater quantity of Yorkshire Medley. So let me pull one of these out. So this is the skein of what my sweater is made out of. So it's Yorkshire Medley, Flying Fibers Yarn Company. It is a lovely blend of blue-faced Leicester and Wensleydale, 100% British wool. So it is, let's see, More Shrub. More Shrub is the name of this colorway. I've been trying to remember what that was. So this is the yarn. I have a sweater's quantity of it, and it's beautiful. I also picked up, sorry. I also picked up some yarn online when I was shopping for my fiber share package to give to my fiber share partner. She mentioned that she liked Knox yarn, sock yarn. So I caught some yarn from them and got one for her, and decided to pick up a couple for myself too. So this is, she's filled with secrets on the Mars sock base, which is 75/25 superwash merino nylon. And it's a really pretty gray and kind of bluish with lots of speckles. So there's that. And sorry, I know that it's not focusing, but the camera's just too far away for me to focus manually. And then I got a bulky one too. So this is the Apollo super bulky base, and the colorway is Luna. And I look at this. Look at that pop. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, that's like hazmat orange and yellow there. So that's a lot of fun. I really like this one too. So I picked those up. And then I also grabbed some Lolo Did It on a D-stash. So I got these three colors. I wasn't really thinking of putting them together. I got them individually. I mean, she had them listed individually. But now that I look at them all together, I think they'd be really fun to pair. So there's these three. So we've got like a tonal purple and then a pretty solid, this one's not really tonal, it is really pretty solid, light blue, and then this variegated in the middle that has some elements of both. It's got the blue and the purple in there, as well as pink, and then I think it's one of her hippo colorways, so it's got that gray base. So I thought that this would be a lot of fun to put together, and when I was up in New Jersey, I was talking with one of the ladies there about patterns, and she showed me the Goldfish Memories shawl, which I think looks like a lot of fun to knit, and I'll put a picture up here. And I think that would be fun to do in these colors. So I might do that. So so these are this one I think it's called LA Lady. I'm pretty sure about that one. I'm not sure on these two. I think that the purple, yeah, that makes sense. The purple is Violet Beauregard, and I think this one is called Elba Island. So those are, and they're all on the Awesome Sock base, I believe. Yes, they're all on Awesome Sock, which is 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon. So we'll see. That may be in my future as a cast on. I like the idea of it. But yeah, take a look at the pattern and let me know what you think. If you think that would be a good thing to do. And then lastly, and we're going to pretend that this was the reason I haven't podcasted in a while because I wanted to have this to share. I got my fiber share package earlier this week. So I have what I received from my fiber share partner. So I'll show you what she got me, what she sent me. So we'll start with the goodies. This is a empty box of chocolate because I already ate it. So it's a Choco Block milk chocolate with almond honey nougat. It reminded me of what's it called? Toblerone. It reminded me of Toblerone. But it was really good. So that's gone. But she sent me that. She also sent me some tea from Fortnum and Mason. This is black tea with cranberry, which I haven't broken into yet, but I'm planning to. She also sent me a little pouch. It's called Perfect Little Pencil Bag, handcrafted in India. So there's that, and it says embrace your creativity, and it's really pretty. It's got this beautiful feather on it. And I'm gonna fill this with the goodies that I'm gonna show you too. She also gave me these stork scissors, which are really nice. These are some, heavy duty scissors. As well as some light bulb stitch markers, which everybody needs. These are the greatest little stitch markers. She also sent me some really cool buttons. So they're these big buttons that are like, they're wood. So you've got like the rings of wood. They're really cool. So I've got those 3 buttons. And then she also sent me some pins. And I think these would be used as like shawl pins and things. So, so there's a stag head here that is golden. So it's got nice big antlers. And then this is like a twig, which is really cool. I really like this, this pin. So that'll make a really cool shawl pin. And then let's see. She also sent me a little wool wash. It's a kookaburra wool wash, lavender. And from Desert Breeze Co. Quality sheepskin products. So, so I've got that. And then, oh my gosh, this is the most adorable thing. It's this little notepad that's like a winking teardrop. It's so cute. So yeah, it's like little sticky notes. So I got that. And then she also included this little notebook. It says Knit Happy. And it's got, an attached pen. It's recycled materials. And then she also put in some yarn, of course, the fiber part of it. So I've got 2 skeins of this, which is Ella Rae Lace Merino Decay, which is my color. Look at that green. Oh, this is beautiful. I love the light, or not light, the bright green. And then I've also got 2 skeins of Cloudborne Fibers. This is Merino Superwash Sock Twist, which is really nice. This is really soft. This is much softer than the Cloudborne that my Zadie sweater's knit out of. Probably because this is a superwash merino. I think that the other one is 100% wool, or not superwash. But yeah, it's really nice. This is a lavender heather, lavender heather colorway. And I've got 2 of those. And then she also included, oh my gosh, this is so soft. From Cascade Yarns, it's alpaca lace, which is, let me see if it has a colorway listed. Just a number, 1413. But it is 100% baby alpaca. It's so soft. And I've got 2 skeins of that too. So I'm so excited. It was so much fun to participate in Fiber Share. I really, really enjoyed it. So I think that a lot of people did it for the first time this year, both who I gave to and who I received from. It was their first time doing it too. So It was a ton of fun to do. So if you haven't done it yet, you should sign up for the next one because it's a lot of fun. And then there's one more acquisition that I forgot about. So I saw, I can't remember who, somebody had it on Instagram and I thought it was really cool. So I went to Twill and Print, which you can see there. I don't know why I'm showing these if they're out of focus, but anyway, I'll put the information below. But Twill and Print, I picked up two enamel pin. Well, no, I picked up an enamel pin and a stitch marker. So here's the stitch marker. It's a little alpaca, a little enamel one. It's enamel and gold. Not gold, but goldy. So there's that. And then this stitch marker, which is the coolest thing ever. And I'm definitely going to try and get this to focus so you can actually see it. So this says just one more and it spins. It's the coolest thing ever. So it says things like just one more nap, cookie, episode, cup, and then 4 of them say just one more row. So so it's a really cool pin. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. So I picked that up. So Twill and Print, that's where I got that from. Okay. That's everything. So I shared everything. So thank you for joining me. Oh, I forgot to mention, we have hit 300 subscribers. So I think that on my last episode, I was announcing the winner of the 200 subscriber giveaway, and all of a sudden we hit 300. So thank you to everyone who has come over to check out my channel. It's very fun to, you know, expand the viewership and meet new people, and it's just a lot of fun. I love doing this podcast. Even though it took me a month to record a new episode. Really, I do love it. So I think that I found a new recording schedule that will help me be more consistent. So we're gonna try that out in 2 weeks. So fingers crossed, I'll have a new episode out in 2 weeks. But yeah, thank you for joining me today. Thank you for joining me any other time that you've joined. If it's your first time, thank you for checking me out. If you would like to, just because I'm curious, if you want to leave a comment and let me know how you found the podcast. Actually, let's do this. Okay. All right. So this is very impromptu, but I just reached back into my stash, pulled out a skein of Noro. So this is 100 grams, 50% wool, 20% silk, 30% Angora. Very cool. So this is a skein of Noro. We're going to do a 300 subscriber giveaway. So what we'll do it on YouTube. I want you to comment below on this episode. And just because I'm curious, because I find statistics interesting and how people are interconnected, let me know how you found my podcast. You know, were you directed from somebody else's? Did I tell you about it? Did you get one of my little business cards and checked it out? So comment below, let me know. And I'll pick a winner. I think we'll do it the next time I post an episode. So it should be about 2 weeks. So I'll probably update the notes with a date to let you know when it's ending. But for now, we'll leave it open till I close it. So let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you very much for joining me. And I will see you next time. Bye. Eric decided he wanted an orange. Look, you can see yourself in the mirror. This is the camera right here. And then you can see in the mirror what's on the phone. You see the phone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Say hi. Girl. Okay.